Math 10 Prep, Lesson 11, Writing and Solving Equations 3. These are equations involving percent. When we have a percentage, we're looking at the rate out of 100. So our percentage out of 100 is what portion out of the whole. In this example, we are looking to find 30% of 40. So we know that our 30% is 30 over 100. 30% of 40 means that 40 is our whole. We want 30% of that portion of that whole value of 30. It goes here. We're going to cross multiply. We take 30 times 40 and we multiply 100 times x. That we then simplify by dividing by 100, so we're isolating our x. And 30 times 40 gives us 1200 divided by 100, and we're left with 12. 12 is 30% of 40. Let's move on to another example where we're trying to find the whole rather than the part. 65% of some number is 135. Again, we have a percentage, 65%, so that's 65 out of 100. So 65% of some number is 135. We're going to cross multiply. We take 100 times 130. That's equal to 65 times x. Again, we want to isolate our x, so we're going to divide both sides by 65. And we calculate. Now this is one I can't do in my head, so I'm going to pull out the calculator. We have 100 times 130 divided by 65, and we come out with 200. Our x value is 200. We always finish up with our statement. 65% of 200 is 130. Let's look at a commission question. If Lenny receives 5% for every car she sells, or he sells, sorry, and he sells a car for $45,000, how much will Lenny Anderson receive? Again, we start with our percentage, 5 out of 100, and we have to decide, is the price of the car $45,000, is it the whole or is it the portion? Well, the sale represents the whole, and we want 5% of $45,000, and so we are looking for x out of 45,000. Cross multiply. 5 times 45,000 will equal 100 times x. We divide by 100 to isolate this. Isolate our x, and let's again calculate. 5 times 4,500 divided by 100, and we get, I think I might have, see, I did 4,500 instead of 45,000. Let's fix that. There's 4,500. It should be 45,000 divided by 100. And we get 2,250. Lenny receives $2,250 in commission. Let's look at an example with a percent increase. Last year, tuition for Portage College student was $2,500, and this year the tuition is $2,950. What is the percent increase? We're looking this time to find what is our percent out of 100 and what's the whole. How do we decide what's the whole and what's the part? This gets a little bit more complicated, but we know that we started at 2,500, and so we want to know how much is our increase in relation to that 2,500. And our increase is the 2 subtracted. So we take 2,950, subtract 2,500. This gives us the amount of the increase. And when we're doing a percent increase, we're looking at it over the original amount. When we multiply or simplify that, we get x over 100 is equal to 450 over 2,500. Again, we're going to cross multiply. 100 times 450 is equal to x times 2,500. We then divide both sides by 2,500. So we've isolated x. Now we can do our calculation. 100 times 450 divided by 2,500, and we get 18. The tuition increased by 18%. I want you to do some practice, so here's a list of practice questions you can do. Also, assignment questions 8 and 20 relate to this particular lesson. Remember, your assignment is due this Thursday by 4 p.m. and we're looking at your unit exam next week on Wednesday, March the 11th. Have a good day.